Hi, I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles. And this is
Bar Talking
Bar, your access to the heartbeat of New York City's bar and hospitality scene.
Hosted straight from the city that never sleeps, we sit down with bartenders, brands and ambassadors, hospitality pros, and cocktail lovers.
Whether it's the art of bartending, the hustle behind hospitality, or the wildest bar tales, expect raw conversations and industry secrets.
Listen to the people who pour your favorite cocktails and keep the nightlife alive.
If you love bars, spirits, and the stories that bring them to life, follow us, share, and subscribe to keep the conversations flowing.
The podcast that you didn't know you need.
New episodes weekly.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. ¡Qué silencio!
Uy, silencio. Si no somos mezcal.
Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Bar Talking Bar. Today, we're gonna thank everyone to watch us, to subscribe, and for commenting and sharing. And I'm Nuri Robles.
And I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And today we have another VIP guest.
Pa VIP. Hey! Welcome.
Gerardo Bustamante,
Hello.
but we're better known for G.
Yeah.
Better know. G.
Yeah. Welcome.
Hola.
Gracias. Bienvenido. Welcome to our show. Thank you for taking the time of the day. We know you're busy.
Very busy.
Very busy these days, but we'll talk about that later. Thank you for being here. Like we say, in this industry, we showcase talent and people who's been in the industry for a while. But this
And
this
representing
podcast,
New York City.
There's gangster shows. No, and it's like everyone else here, and our audience this podcast is dedicated for bartenders, brand ambassadors, brands, cocktail lovers. If you know anything about the bartender or the service industry in general, this is where you can learn a little bit of who we are as humans, persons. We're not just a working machine, we have feelings, and we do this because we like it, and this is our careers. But I will start by knowing more about Gerardo, or AKA G. We're gonna start calling you G because that's how everybody knows you here in the city, in Mexico City too. 2 cities, whoa. City boy.
City boy. So we always said that, many people knows you, but obviously there's people that they don't know you. So if you want to introduce yourself to the audience, you're free to say who you are.
Okay. Well, my name is Gerardo. I go by G. Just if you can't roll your R's, just say G. That's really how it started. It's just like, as growing up, everybody would put an L on my name. And it's like,
Yeah.
drove me nuts. I think it was just too much, and I was just like, just call me G.
Oh, because you grew up in Jackson and Washington Heights.
Nah, I grew up in Harlem.
Oh, Harlem. Okay.
And like middle school, I was the only Mexican kid in my class.
So Harlem is what, like more Dominicans or?
Depends on the area and depends on the school you're in. The schools that I was going to, they were predominantly Puerto Rican, black, or white.
Okay.
Because we were still like on 5th Avenue.
Okay.
So it's like there was a lot of white kids still there.
Yeah.
But predominantly black, Puerto Rican, not a lot of like Mexican kids. Like that was literally the reason why I was the only Mexican kid in my class.
Cool. Representing that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why you do it all the time. Like I'm a guest or something. So let's go a little bit back and let's start like, how was your childhood? Like your parents, your family, if you want to talk to me.
So I was born in Mexico City, en la Avenida Cuauhtémoc. I've always been a kid from the hood. Mm-hmm. Cuando yo vivía en la Ciudad de México, like I used to live in La Obrera. Okay. If you know Mexico City, La Obrera is barrio pesado, so like it's a little bit of the hood. It's still pretty. It's still pretty much a little bit of a hood in there. But I was born there, and then my summers would be spent in Oaxaca and Miahuatlán.
Okay.
Miahuatlán is like a very little small town. About 4 or 5 hours away from el centro de Oaxaca. Okay. And it's mostly known for like the gas station. Porque todos los trailers que iban para abajo, like with all the like produce, they would stop there for gas because it was like diesel there.
Okay.
So it was like, that's how you end up in that town. Pero recently, with the whole movement of like mezcal, we're making a lot of mezcal there. So it's becoming a lot of like mezcal tourism, which is good for them. They're making money. I recently went back and I was like, holy fuck, there's so many new houses and like, I saw a building that had like 4 floors and that's never happened there. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like
always just 1 or 2 floors. And there was like, oh, it looks like a skyscraper here.
Yeah.
That's the tallest building
In the area, yeah, for sure. And it's only like 4 or 5 floors, but still very tall.
So your grandparents live in that area?
Yes. So my grandmother's house was technically in Isodoro, which is like, because the town is between 3 different municipales. So like literally crossing the street would be a whole nother
Oh, really?
municipal. Yeah.
That's one thing I've never really understood about like how they're divided when they're in the same town. You know,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like municipales, like I don't know, too many details.
What was like the most like you can remember about your like going to that town when you were a kid?
Oh my God. I have like a very vivid memory of Oaxaca because I spent my summers there a lot. Y lo más que me recuerda es el olor, like the smell.
Like
The food or like the town?
No,
town?
the soil.
Okay, like the
So-
dairy, like it's like a grassy and moody. I don't know.
So the thing is, in that area, it's very rich in minerals naturally, which is where the barro comes from. Barro is literally just soil that it's blended. Because of the minerality of it, the dirt is very red.
Okay.
So yeah, like Berto, yes.
See, cuando like if a car is driving or if it rains, especially if it rains, you can smell the
Right.
dirt in the
Yeah,
air.
actually, it reminds me of as a kid having coffee, and then while it was raining, you can see like the aroma, sense it, and feel it. It's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm from Puebla. Like my grandparents are from Puebla, and I also like, if I remember my childhood, it's always with my grandma, because my mom, she used to take me like on the summer, like just take it for 2 months.
Yeah, basically that's how I ended up in Oaxaca. So.
And then it's like I remember when it was like it's super hot, and they put the water in the los cantaritos, like little.
I don't even know how they call, but yeah, no, like they're like big vessels with the clay vessels.
Yeah.
When it could be 110 degrees outside, that water is cold.
Yeah.
It's 40 degrees.
And then you drink it, and
And-
it tastes like agua.
Yeah,
like super.
mineral.
Say minerally.
Yeah,
Minerally,
really, really good.
And even with the clay, like has this clay aftertaste, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
fresh. Yeah, that's where houses were built, like especially like 16, 1800. There's still early 19. They were still built by made out of clay. Nowadays, the 4-story building they cannot survive if they're 4 stories made out of clay. They'll collapse.
I know.
So they need a different structure.
So yeah, tell us more.
So that house, actually, fun fact, my grandfather actually built our house from that dirt. So our house didn't have actual like plumbing or electricity. He built it with just like putting mud together and letting it dry out, and like it was sort of made like barro. And then our light was just candles and stuff like that. It was like super small town Mexican. Like I remember vividly one of the craziest memories of being in that house was I woke up to my grandmother screaming because there was a snake inside the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, it made a burrow and like just broke through the wall.
Yeah.
And I was like,
What?
okay, that's normal.
I remember like with my grandma, it would be like you have to move the beds out of the walls because it would be like scorpions around it.
Uh-huh.
And
it's there because the climate is so hot that scorpions thrive, snakes,
yeah.
spiders.
Yeah, they want to hide. They also are hot also.
Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, of course.
So they wanna hide.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful, but it's like super dangerous.
See, like, it was super interesting because like next to the house was our kitchen, and our kitchen was just like these 2 pillars that he built con una roca encima que la cortaron, and it was like the comal.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then we would just cut leña and then feed the fire constantly. so that way we can cook. But there was like always like these large pots on top, and teníamos molino. We would have our own crops to make tortillas.
Yeah.
But we would go to the molino to grind it down.
Yeah.
So when we go to the molino, tu vas como like with like 20 pounds of it, and then you come back with this ginormous pile of it. So in the corner there was always like this big pile of like masa, just ready to make like tortillas or whatever you want.
Have you ever done tortillas?
Yeah,
I'm very good.
and that at that age there was no TVs. There was not a lot of things to entertain myself. So I either help out, do some chores, or I'm bored as fuck. So
You never went to like your cousins or like your uncles, like taking, como decían, llevar los animales a comer?
Yeah.
Going to the mountains.
Actually, one of my chores was I had to go behind la rieta. La rieta is like something that they put on top of the bowl whenever they're making the little channels to put like the cosecha.
El arado.
And then I would go behind them, put it in the seeds.
Oh, okay.
So like I would do that for the frijol and maíz. We had other different crops. I truly don't remember all of them.
Mm-hmm. But mainly in that area is like beans and
corn and
squash.
Yeah, we would have a lot of squash. Naturally, it would grow behind our house.
Yeah, watermelons too. They grow like watermelons grow naturally on when you're planting.
Yeah,
stuff.
So much things. Like I remember there was this one hill where there was a lot of like squash blossoms growing naturally. Y yo iba y los recogía todos. Like I would just pick them out.
Some quesadillas with that.
Yes, and that's literally what I would do. I would come back home like, abuela, I want quesadillas, please. Like I just found all of these.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember around the town and everything, people will like have potatoes, onions, beans, squash, but also cucumbers. But my family didn't plant cucumbers, so you have to go and steal someone else. If you don't know them, if you know people, you will be like, hey, can I have some? But if you don't know them, you will just go and...
I'm going to say this out loud. I borrowed some mangoes from my neighbors because the mangoes that my neighbors had were so good.
You just borrow them?
I just borrowed them because, I was like, hey, it's going to fall. Nobody's going to eat it. I might as well just take care of it,
Yeah.
And I don't know if you also did that. Like, there would be, like, mango trees, but then you have to throw, like... Stones?
Yeah.
There's, like, no way.
So my grandfather had a really large crop of tunas. And, like, he had a lot of tuna nopales. And, like, during the season, ellos, they wouldn't see it as, like, a valuable crop because they would go bad so fast that they're like, si lo cosechamos and we don't sell them by tomorrow, it's, like, work that we did for no reason. So they would concentrate on, like, more, like, the maíz, caña. Like, my grandfather had a caña field, like, sugar cane, maíz, and honey. Yeah, it makes money.
Yeah.
So, but we had like a large crop of like nopales growing naturally there. So I would go and take like branches and just smack them and then force the fruit off of it and then just eat it.
Yes.
And like my mom would like scream at me. She was like, te vas a ensartar una espina. Because like when they're not cleaned, they're full of spikes.
But also the tiny ones.
Yeah. Well, pitayas, tunas, they all grew there. So that you would get like tuna rojas y verdes, and then pitayas. Pitayas are like smaller, and they're like yellow, brown, or like dark purple.
Yeah.
I love the dark purple. I don't know if that's a flavor, but the color, it's so good. It's so much richer.
Oh, no, there's a difference in the flavor based on color.
Because even the mayo ones, the pitayas de mayo, they're like bigger size, and the color is like pink, white, kind of like reddish. I don't remember all the colors. There's no blue.
There were so many colors. And like I would just eat them all. Actually, I found out I was allergic to bees because of stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yes, my grandfather used to.
This has honey.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with honey. It's just like bee stings.
Oh, okay.
Will literally kill me, and I found out because me and my cousins all wanted to eat honey. Like we would like to take the pencas and like suck on the penca and like but my grandfather would beat us up if you're eating our cosecha.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's his money. Like, this is how he pays his bills.
And it takes, I mean, I think it takes a little longer to
And
like,
between 6 kids, you would eat a lot of honey. So,
Yeah. I see it a lot.
bees migrate. So even though you're farming them, you're supposed to let them migrate, because if not, they won't actually work.
Yeah, because you need pollinating. And
You need them to pollinate.
Yeah, right.
So las dejaba ir, and on their way back, they would bring back wild bees with them.
Okay.
And then they kind of made their own honeycomb on the trees around him. So he was like, don't eat that, but if you want to risk your life, eat that.
Yeah.
So we made a deal, and we was like, all right, everybody draw some straws, basically.
Uh-huh.
2 of you guys are going to throw rocks at it
To scare
to
the
scare the bees out. And then one of them needs to like get their attention and run towards the river. And then while the other 2 are taking the honey off, like the whole honeycomb
And
off.
how do you choose who's gonna be first?
Well, yo era el más pequeño, like I was the youngest one, so el más pendejo.
Gerardo, go.
Yeah, so, and they convinced me by saying I was the fastest. They were like, "Oh, you're the fastest one." I was like, "Yes, I am the fastest one."
You ended up so.
I ended up getting stung 46 times.
Wait, so you never made it to the river?
I did, but in the process, they had already stung me because I wasn't that fast.
You realize you were.
I was not that fast. And I don't remember anything after that because so many bee stings, I actually lost consciousness,
Oh, shit.
and I like ended up being hospitalized. My mom told me, it's like, oh yeah, you like passed out, and you was like hospitalized for days.
Oh wow.
I was like, oh, well, that's a cool way to find out that you're allergic to something.
Yeah.
Well, but that's a good way, actually, since you found out as a kid. Because I think after that, you could probably be more aware than not to get closer to bees. Or if you are.
Or not trust your cousins.
Oh my God.
You know what I was thinking? If this was a video, if somebody was recording you guys have been viral.
Viral. It's not like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that's your childhood in Mexico. But then, how was your childhood here?
Coming to the U.S., my mom, thankfully, she's an amazing woman. While I was in Mexico, she put me in like a private school.
Okay.
So in Mexico City, I would go to it was a Catholic school, technically.
Mm-hmm.
But that school was really good because they taught us English.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew basics like hi, hello, goodbye.
My
or
name
like,
is.
Yeah, they literally taught you stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Can I go to the bathroom?
So
That's what
when
I'm
I
thinking.
came to the U.S., you kind of have to take like an like what is it, like a test to sort of like see where you stand. And they decided that I didn't necessarily need ESL help, but I did need to be in a bilingual class, and luckily I was in a bilingual class. And that's kind of how I learned English. I remember like the word because. I learned how to spell it because I would say it in Spanish. So like every time I would write because, I would say because.
Because yeah.
And like, oh, that's how you spell it. Now it's like, I mean, you can still sometimes hear my accent. It's a little hard to not have an accent because.
Tell me. I've been doing this for
It is.
27 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that part, I like I'm very pro about like changes and everything, but I feel like we should pass of like thinking about people about their accents or color or whatever, but definitely we have to like stop like, oh, you have an accent. Everybody has a freaking accent.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember when I moved to New York, I thought everybody would speak like like Friends, because I used to watch a lot of Friends, like the series, and then you come and then if you go to Chinatown, even people who they were born here, they will have still like an accent of Asian accent, or like Hindus, Pakistanis, when they speak English, they also have accents. So I was like, so why they not everybody speak the same? And then you understand that we're very lucky to live in New York, that thanks to those accents, also you kind of respect other people, like you are the same immigrant and
Yeah. I mean, there's this saying that really resonates with me. That it's like a Spanish saying, "Ni de aquí ni de allá." It's just like you're not from here, and neither from over there, and that honestly was super prominent last year because I spent a few months in Mexico City. And like while I was out there, every time I met somebody, they was like, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "What do you mean where I'm from? I'm from here. I'm Mexican." And it was like, "Yeah, but like, where do you live?" I was like, "What do you
in
mean?"
my house.
And then they was like, "Yeah, like you're from the U.S., right?" And I was like, "Homie, you look at my birth certificate. I was born in El Hospital Cuauhtémoc. Like I was born in the hood." And I was like, "Yeah, but like you don't live here though anymore." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And like as a child, also going to school over here in the U.S., it was always that same thing. It was like, "Oh, so where you're from?" It's like, "Well, I live here. I'm from Harlem." Like all the way to high school. And I was like, "Yeah, but like where are you actually from?" And it's like, so it's always been like, I'm not from here, I'm not from there, I'm from the world.
Yeah, exactly. Because I actually I had a conversation the other day with a friend. He lives in LA, and we're talking about like in Mexico, like they treat you like a pocho, and then if you come here, it's like you're not American, you're Mexican, right? And I always fight that. I always say like, dude, if I was born here, I'm from the United States, and that's it, And I feel like we're very proud of like being Mexican. So where you from? But that doesn't mean I'm not from here. So why you try to separate me all the time?
I think also there's also a different part of the kids that are born here. Like if my parents per se, came from Mexico City, and I was born here, for example. My parents, even if I learn English here, I'm gonna speak my parents' Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I've seen people from Oaxaca, from Puebla, from Guerrero, from different parts of Mexico, and their kids speak perfectly English, but when they speak Spanish, they speak like like from the town. Basically like the accents, and the wording. Sometimes like if you listen to the mayor in LA, when he speaks English, he's like English, like clean or whatever. But then when he speaks Spanish, he like bites his words, and it's not because he's bilingual. It's because he speaks like his parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandma have their way to talk. And in Puebla, 'cause that's where my family is from. They have a different dialogue.
Yeah.
No, but even the way they talk to each other is
slang.
It's very different to Mexico City, and it's very different in New York. Like per se New York, and you go to Boston, it's very different. Boston,
Exactly.
Like all the we were talking about this with Felipe. Like we talked a little bit like about it, but I think now that you say it, it's like, people don't really realize that a lot. Like when we say Colombians, like our friends were from Colombia. They come from Colombia, it's one country, but they also have different accents in different places.
Like Los Paisas,
Rolos. And then and that's something that you sometimes have to be proud of.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I think at one point I saw it like a way to attack me. Like it was always like, oh, it's because you sound like this or whatever. In the last few years, I kind of seen it more as like a power, like a superpower. Because like for example, about 2 to 3 years ago, I started traveling a lot to Puerto Rico to do work with PR Cocktail Week, and like I have a lot of friends. My best friend John, he like lets me stay in his house all the time, so that's why I had the liberty to go over there.
Let me stay in your house, bro.
He's a sweetheart for that. But because I spent so much time with them, like I picked up their slang. Mm-hmm. And then they'd say it all the time. I was like, this is the most Puerto Rican Mexican we've ever met in our life.
But also your food, because you're posting like you're cooking like Puerto Rican food all the time.
Yeah, like even like the food that I cook, like it's no longer white or black. It's like straight up like I eat majority Asian food in my diet. I eat a lot of Puerto Rican food because I spent so much time in the last 2 years being in Puerto Rico itself. Mexican food is still in my blood, but like there's not like, oh, I'm Mexican, I only eat Mexican food. Yeah. Like you go to my house and it's like,
especially in New York,
Asian spices, like so many Caribbean spices, like
And also, I think you guys as bartenders, it's also like a good thing to do R&D because you start trying like different
Different
stuff.
spices.
Yeah,
right?
it gives you an edge. Like when me and my friends we went to Colombia, like last year, for one of my friends' birthday, and while we were there, I was doing a lot of the talking because I had hung out with a lot of Colombians before, and I did my research before going over there, and I had already picked up some of the slang, so I was able to talk to people, and this whole time I always thought like my friends understood the conversations I would have with people. And one day I was hanging out with one of my boys, and he's like, "Yo, you know, like while we were in Colombia, like, no, none of us understood you, right?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah,
We spent a week and we didn't know what you
He's
said.
like, "No, dude, like
Understanding.
we speak Spanish, but we don't speak that kind of Spanish, and like you spoke with their slang and everything, and like they understood you."
Gonorrhea.
Yeah, it's like kind of like like you learn a lot of the.
I like that.
Yo, gotta say it. Yeah. So stuff like that, like, I mean, at that moment, I had been dating a Colombian woman. So it's like, I spent so much time with her family that, like, I picked up a lot of the ways they talk. Baby, if you've seen this, I love you.
It's in the past.
not-
Whatever
that was-
past is in the past.
But,
Shout out. I did it.
no.
Oh, God.
Oh, si no me cortan a mí.
Cut that part.
But yeah, I got, because of that, I think like since I've always been like moving around, I'm so good at that thing.
That was fucking cool. That's good.
Yeah, I think like at this point it's like it's super cool that I get to kind of be a lot more accessible to learn people's cultures, and like it gave me this curiosity. Like every time I travel, I need to learn it all. I want to learn it all. Show me all the spots. Show me where you actually go to.
Yeah, that's what I see. Like, especially like techniques that you always like show on your videos. Like you were telling, I think one day you posted like, "Oh, I'm doing this like the way someone taught me," and I feel it's like very cool because you show also like how you get experience. And talking about experience, so you were growing on Harlem
Yeah.
here. So what was your transition of being like this Mexican kid to work in the hospitality industry?
So when I started working in hospitality, I actually started at 16. My mom has always been a hardworking woman, and she gave us everything in life. Like, I never had a need to actually get a job. She gave it us all. But as a child, you want things, and those wants aren't needs. And I decided, I was like, I want an Xbox. And I'm not going to ask you for it because you work really hard for it. And I know the reality of things. So I'm going to go get my Xbox. And then I asked one of my uncles to get me a job. And he got me a dishwasher job. And I started being as a dishwasher at an Italian restaurant. Curiosity has always been a tool for me. And I got really curious with like the prep work, or like they would do like pastas like from scratch there.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was like cleaning up the prep station, and the chef was there making pasta for like one of the specials. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" It was like, "What are you doing?" Like, he's like, "I'm making pasta. Have you never seen somebody make pasta?" I was like, "No, I've never seen anything." Like, I'm like, "This is my first job." He's like, do you want to learn? Like, I'll teach you. Like, I have a second. And I like explained them I asked them everything. I was like, how come you put that? Like, what does that do to that? Or what happens if I put too much water? Or like, so he's like, you're really curious. And little by little, he kept on teaching me stuff. And then about like a month or two of me being there, he's like, all right, you want to do some of the prep work, we'll pay you more, and we'll offer you more hours if you want to do some of the prep work. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I started prepping like the tiramisus, the pastas and stuff like that, and then.
But also you were doing dishwashing, or it was just
No. Oh well, yes. During service, I was dishwashing.
Okay.
But like in between services, like while we're prepping and like either like service or after service, there were things that would have to be done for next day's service. So I would do some of that stuff, and I would just take a little longer. I mean, I was 16 years old, coming back home at like 2 a.m. in the morning after work.
And were you going to school also? Or?
Yeah, I was going to school. Yeah.
Hustle.
Yeah, my mom was like,
no,
she was super mad about it. She was like, you're 16 years old. Like, I could get arrested if somebody finds out you're coming home at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, that's child neglect. And I was like, it's not, because like I'm not spending time doing some dumb stuff. Like I'm learning and I'm making money and I'm just curious about the situation. And she's still, till this day, like she's always been like, why did you go into this? Like I gave you everything. You went to school. You went to really good schools. Like I wanted you to be a doctor. I wanted, like, my name, Gerardo, comes from like what is it? A general that my grandfather served in war with, because she wanted me to be in the military. And I was just like, that's such like weird pressure to put on a kid.
Exactly. But I think like that's a kind of like
aspirations, right?
Aspiration,
Like,
and also mentality in Mexico, because there's like a lot of like willingness to like be better, having a better life, and I feel like parents that they didn't have the opportunities, they also looking for those opportunities for us. But sometimes it's like, you don't want to do that, but also you want to do something else.
Well, that's kind of why she was upset. She was like, like, how come you don't have all this energy towards going to school? And I do, like, I did. I wasn't a bad kid. Like, I went to good schools and I had good grades because I was good at it. It's just, at that moment, like, this had sparked my curiosity.
But that's good, like when you have somebody to teach you, at least, because oftentimes if you ask to be like, oh, I have no time,
I mean, my relationship with that chef ended up terrible. Like, he didn't try to pay me on my last week. Yeah. He actually didn't try to pay me on my last week there, and like, I was like, listen, your bar's full of all this glassware right now. That's about like $1,000 worth of glass. What if I just smack it? Do you want to pay me now? Like, but regardless of it, in the 8 months that I was there, I went, because he had such large turnover, because he was an asshole, like, and so many people kept on walking out on him. I kept on getting pushed to other like positions. So I went through his whole kitchen. Like, I went from being a dishwasher to a prep, to salads, to desserts, to the grill area, and then eventually being like the person at the pass that finishes all the plates and stuff like that. Yeah, expo. And so I learned a lot, like, from that experience, and it's sort of like how I treat my kitchen at home. Like, I cook in that matter. Go ahead. And eventually I was like, all right, cool. I left this spot. I still wanted to make money, so I went to this steakhouse that was in my neighborhood. It's called Ricardo's. If you're from Harlem, you have heard about Ricardo's.
I think I heard, but I'm not from Harlem.
Ricardo's at its prime, like early 2000s, was the hot spot. Like, you had triple car parked cars in front of it. Every car in front of it, it's like $500,000 to $1 million car. Rolls Royces, Ferraris, all the joints. Like,
I think I heard about this place. I'm not.
But the owners were like Italians, or?
Yeah, they're Italians. Yeah, they're Italians.
It's probably Italian owners, but the Mexicans are cooking.
Yes. Yes. The whole staff is Mexican.
Like, it was all the, like, from 90s and I think late 2000s. Most of the kitchens were like Mexicans.
Yeah. No, they were all Mexicans. Like, the head chef, his name was Mario, and he was Mexican. His whole staff was Mexican. Which is how I ended up at the bar. I first got hired as a bar back there, but because they had so many like Mexican staff, or not even Mexican. Like it was just all Spanish. Like, the best runner. I mean, the best busser there. His name was Romeo. This dude was like 4 feet tall, carrying like a tower of wine glasses like this in one hand, and like he taught me how to do that. And I was like, "Yo, dude, you're a beast!" Like, but he struggled.
What was
with
his name again?
Romeo.
Romeo. Shout out to Romeo.
Yeah, he's a freaking beast.
We need
Actually, he's now captain server there. He's still there.
Oh wow.
He's been there for quite a while, but he's making money.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not as busy as before, but they're still making bread. Like, it was just like a lot more sus situation before, and they basically came up to me and was like, "Hey, we need another bar back. Would you like to be a bar back?" And I kind of felt weird because like I've been at this spot for 3 months. There's been people here that've been like a year. How come you're not giving them the opportunity? But also, I'm not blocking my own blessings. Like, the opportunity was given, I'm taking it, you know?
Yeah.
But their rationality was like the bartenders had trouble communicating with people that spoke Spanish because they didn't know Spanish. So they felt more comfortable with me because I knew English.
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, we'll just train you. And I learned how to do stuff there.
Before that, would you know about like barbecuing or?
I didn't know nothing. What I did learn from them is the hustle. Like, this room is bigger than that bar. Like, the bar was just this little triangle right here.
Like
and it was a bartender.
Like the house bar.
Yeah, no, seriously, the bartender is just right here, and she has about maybe 1.5 feet to get around, and that's about it. Like, you're really like this.
And how many people were you, like, what were they doing at this point?
Yeah, on a Saturday night, we would do anything from 300 to 350 covers.
Wow, impressive with that tiny little bar.
Fuck me, dude, yes. One bartender. Well, that's the thing. That's how I learned how to do stuff, because it wasn't just a bartender making drinks. Like, frozen, sangrias, any stuff like that. Like, the sangrias were on the bar top, so you just got to serve them. And then the frozens, we had a blender there, but I had to make them.
Oh, we blender.
Yeah, so, like, we were making on-the-spot blender, like, frozen margaritas, Henny coladas, stuff like that. Like, club type of drinks. But she was busting out drinks. And servicing the 6 chairs that was in front of her.
In that time, were you using like, and not because I want to put it in the spot, but they were using like natural juices, or it was also in the
No, we were.
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no. So we used like the Simply Puree joints, and then we were using Rosie's lime juice.
Okay.
But like, it wasn't like just straight up like ready-made drinks. Like, we made our own simple syrup. That's about it. But like, prep-wise, it was all very much like store-bought.
Yeah, because I feel like those kind of restaurants also back in the day, it was like that. Like, we went volume, and people like them. It's not about.
Also,
like,
it's also like, you know, the cost of, the cost.
Yeah.
So if you have if you want to spend I don't know, per se $50 to buy a case of limes, and you can buy 5 gallons for $50, you might as well buy the 50 gallons, you know.
Yeah.
For example, because in a price point, I think whatever your margin is bigger and your production is less, that means time, you know, because you need somebody to prep. So that means that a case of lemons that you pay $50 or lime, excuse me, you're gonna pay $50 for the lime, and then you're gonna pay an hour on top of that because somebody has to juice them, you know. So I think that's one of the things.
No, I want someone who takes less than an hour to cut limes and do it.
No, but like, you know, that's what I think. That's what
Scientist.
people sometimes don't see that, you know. Like, and then productions wise, if you have 300 covers a day, how many lemons and limes do you have to?
Oh my
use?
God, it's
one bartender.
ridiculous. Like, Sunday brunch was probably the worst. Like, we all prayed on every Sunday because that shift would be tough because you would do brunch and then into dinner service. So you're doing a 13-hour shift. And in that transition between brunch towards dinner, we would do well over 400 covers.
Shoot.
And it was like, and these are like for example, one of the tables in the back patio was like a family style long table. They would call it the mafia table because it's literally that. It's like a big oval table, and that table was never empty. It was like 12 people at the same time every single time, and there's only one server back there doing that table and every other table around him.
I mean, obviously,
Holy crap, impressive.
yeah.
That's impressive. So you were at the kitchen for about a year,
Yeah.
and then you moved into the barback position.
As soon as I left the Italian restaurant, that was the next job I had. Eventually, I applied to this place, with Tao Group. I started working at Tao Group, and I got put on to the opening team for Cathedral, which is like this big, ginormous restaurant that they have on like 12th Street. And
It's very beautiful, though.
it's amazing. Like, they literally made the interior of a cathedral out
It's
of
like literally
wires.
down the Moxie Hotel.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's connected to the Little Sister as well.
It's huge.
Yeah. That restaurant was freaking massive. Again, like I've always been in like super high volume bars, and like corporate bars. After that, like my whole time was very corporate bars. Like, and I was doing great. Like my beverage manager there, his name was Eric, and I always talk about my experience with them because they were the first place that I was like, holy crap, this is like serious shit. Like when we were doing our training for the opening, our training was a month and a half long. And we did classes with somebody from Dead Rabbit. I don't remember his actual name, but they got commissioned to do like the training for us. So they taught us how to do round building and like the specifics of like liquors and stuff like that. Like our bar training, we had classes. So like in the morning you come in 11 a.m. you do bar training and spirit training. Then after that we do food training. Then after that we do allergy training. Like we had 4 or 5 classes through the day.
Which is awesome, though.
It was amazing. It was an amazing freaking like experience to be like drilled like that. And then because that was like my first serious job, I was like, holy crap, is every place like this? It's
You
not.
wish.
It's not.
Sometimes they don't even give you a paper.
Yeah, so I was a barback at that point. I was still a barback, and I was about to get like promoted to a bartender. And the week that I got promoted to a bartender, like I literally had my first 2-3 shifts as a bartender there. And then there was like, hey guys, COVID's starting.
Yeah.
And we all got laid off. And in between COVID and like recently, like I switched kind of like industries, and I was in like fashion industry a little bit. Not like the actual fashion industry, because I didn't work for an actual brand or anything like that. I was reselling. So I was in like more of like the gray area of the industry. I would go like store to store, buying sneakers, buying clothes, and reselling it to people, and like sourcing articles for people. Indirectly, I met some dude who like he was really connected with a lot of artists. So eventually, like I was sourcing stuff for like rappers and stuff like that, and it was pretty cool. I made a lot of money, like so much money. I think that's the most money I've ever made in my life. I started applying for jobs again, and I saw that Soho House was hiring, and I was like, all right, I'll go apply for Soho House, because I found it really cool, because I was still in like that place where like I found art and fashion really interesting, and Soho House is that's what that is. Like it's a space for creatives to create, musicians, artists, people that make clothing, all of
It's by
that.
membership only there too.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like
membership
a members club there.
Well, yeah.
Ish.
It used to be. I got accepted into Soho House right before they were public, so I still kind of saw the original Soho House where it was like super selective. I spent almost 2 years there, and it was like really interesting because at one point, I remember this one summer, everybody got sick, and there was no bar backs.
COVID sick or?
Yeah, because I had applied as a bartender, but I got hired as a barback because the beverage manager there, her name was Adriana, and she had told me, she was like, hey, listen, like, we think that you can definitely succeed here as a bartender, However, my bar back team is super weak, and I don't really have a space for a bartender right now.
But you can grow.
But I'm willing to help you get there if you can do us a favor and help us with our bar backs because of like your experience. So I was like, all right, cool. Like I took on that role and I was a bar back for a bit there, and it was like crazy because like I was only there on the weekends mostly because that's when the most high volume happens. And there was this one day where everybody got sick and they're like, hey, you're the only bar back for today. And I was like,
how many
what do you
bars
mean?
were there?
So in the interior was
3 bars, by what I understand. Right?
three bar wells plus service, so 4 wells. The patio had 3, 4, 5 wells around plus the 2 service wells. Then there was a pool rooftop that had 2 wells.
So you weren't the only bar back for everybody.
For all 3 floors, all 3 set areas.
Damn.
By the time you'd put ice on every well, you were like, it's already been 3 hours.
Yeah, it was like
Do it all over again.
And I got through the night and it was terrible. Like literally, I told all the bartenders, I was like, you guys are cleaning all your stuff today. Like I ain't helping nobody close. I'm doing what I gotta do in the back and that's it. I'm out of here. But I think that gave me a really good perspective because it happened for like about a week. It kind of gave me this edge where like time management. And that's sort of what I kind of try to put back into the barbacks that I work with now. It's like knowing how to time manage your own self. Going and not waiting for me to tell you what I need. Anticipate my shit. Your responsibility is these low boys. These low boys have to be full at all times. I don't need to be asking you what I need to be. And if you have some low laybacks time, because obviously all your syrups and your backups is in those low boys. So if I hit the bottom of the bottle, I could refill it for sure. But it's an extra step I have to take. So if you can find some layback time and instead of chilling, you go and you start touching the wells. And that's what I would do. Like I would go in and I would start touching the bottles. If you're about to hit the bottom, refill that.
Yeah. When you like the 0.25 of the bottle, you always have to get ready for the next.
Yeah.
Either have a new bottle, finish it. If you have any citrus in there, finish it. There's also I think one of the things that people don't realize is that if you pour fresh juice to that little bit of juice, it's gonna oxidate everything and it's gonna go back. So you gotta go. So those things that you learn as you become a bar back. And
so during service, that juice technically still fresh, right? Because we probably just refilled that cheater just like 2-3 hours ago, and we're just doing high volume. But in the beginning of the service, I would tell them, I'm like, you don't refill that lime juice, you make a backup bottle. Instead of me having to refill a bottle, the bottle should be already in the fridge with a speed pour, and all I do is just pull it and pull that one to the back. Go wash that, refill it, put it back in the low boy, and then next time I just pull that bottle. We're not actually refilling bottles sometimes. Cool. It also depends, because sometimes you're just that busy and you don't have that time to take that beat. Because like we were also responsible of glassware there. So like you got to wash and polish glassware. So that's like at 1 a.m. in the morning, that's majority of your time being spent is just glassware, washing and washing.
Yeah, because everybody leaves, and all of a sudden you have this 6-7 racks of glasses trying to wash them.
Oh my God, yes. After last call, and all the servers pull all the glassware from the floor, and it's just a fucking mess back there. Like, it's like, bro, where does all this glassware come from? Like, and it's just like, from there, I went to a member-only club, and it was in Midtown. It was on 5th Avenue. It was called Core Club. Well, it is Core Club. It's still there. And I was working under Ash Hasself. I swear, I love you, Ash. She was like amazing. This woman like drilled stuff in me and made me a better bartender.
What can you say?
Huh?
What can you say that she drilled on you?
Like, for example, the tins. I used to, like everybody else, stack your tins. Yo, every time she would come by that pass, because I was put into the service well almost every day. She would come by, she was like, why are we stacking tins? I said, that's disgusting. And it's like, and she drilled it to the point where now, like, when I'm running my well and somebody comes and makes a drink and then stacks the tins, I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
While you're doing the drink.
Huh?
While you're doing.
Yeah, like there's
there's
some people that like build with like the tin inside.
Oh,
the ice.
They put the tin, put the ice, and then they put the other tin on top.
Yeah,
that was very old school.
Yeah, but it's gross.
Yeah,
and it's a health department.
And then also like once you do make the drink, they would take it and then just stack it underneath and strain it.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Like, you know, like she taught me like you're only as fast as your reset is fast. As you're pouring that drink, you should be washing that tin. That way you reset before that drink goes into the pass. So by the time you come back after dropping off that drink to the pass, you're ready for the next drink.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend time washing your tins. That whole idea that like there's a lot of bartenders that I've worked with who like throw their tins and wait for their bar bag to wash your tin. Yeah. Why are you waiting? Why are you like when I was in Tao Group, I had a bartender there that we used to get into it because he was like, I can't make drinks if my tools aren't clean. I was like, so then wash them.
Yeah, it was.
So like wash them. Like you expect me to take time out of my day to make you faster when the same action you could have been doing is just washing them as you go.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, there are certain bartenders that they feel like you as a barback, you're supposed to do everything. But you're just like obviously helping them, but the teams definitely has to do with the bartender. Because you are the one who knows.
It's your main tool. Like if you don't have tools to make a cocktail, then you have no cocktails, right?
Yeah.
But
so you have to
also,
reset.
As a bartender, you have in your mind what are the drinks that you're building. So sometimes the barback.
Yeah, it's a round build. Yeah.
Like at Tao Group, if we were running 3 bar bags, one of the bar bags would be designated just for the service wells, and that bar bag is not just bar backing. Your job is not just refilling things, and like it's also listening and picking up tickets. Yeah. If there's wine tickets, beer tickets, or we already had like pre-bottled cocktails, the bartender shouldn't be making those. They're making things that they're building. Negronis, Boubardiers, classics, actually cocktails that we are having to build. The bartenders shouldn't be moving away from the well. So the way that Eric taught us was like, you listen. If you hear a cocktail that you already know, because our glassware is chilled and we have big rocks in there too, by the time you hear that drink, you should have already put that in front of them. So that way, when they're finished making that drink, all they're doing is pouring it right into that ice. That's
a good efficiency rule if you have a big volume. Because you have hands-on. It's like a symphony, you know? Like, everybody works together. But when you were waiting to wash your tins, I'm like, come on, like, you know.
That's what I was telling you. I was like, you really want me to be right next to you washing your tins when I could have just been doing everything else for you? Like you're that extra step is so not necessary. But yeah, when I was at Core Club, that opening, because we were the opening team, that opening was amazing, and Ash believed in me so much. Like there was bartenders there who had a lot more capability of me or more experience than me, but I don't know what she saw in me, and she like leaned on me so much, and I ended up being the head bartender of like the more cocktail oriented space, because we had 2 spaces. Upstairs was like more of like a large sit down type of like family style restaurant. It's all Italian, so it's like big tables and stuff like that. And then downstairs was more like the craft cocktail, more cocktail bar. It was named Leo's, so it was like designed with Leonardo da Vinci.
Okay. And there was there art like on the walls, or?
Yeah, I mean even our cocktails were inspired of like his artwork and stuff like that. And it was a program that was made by Christine Wiseman from Bar Lab. She had just won like bartender of the year that year. So
and this is like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, about 3 years ago. Yeah. And Ash was like, hey, like, this is your bar. Like, if you want this bar to succeed,
It's on you.
it's on your hands. And it was amazing. Like, oh my God, my back bar had so much stuff that now I go to other bars and I'm just like, I can't believe you don't have that. Like, we had a massive bourbon collection and like crazy bourbons, like Sakura aged, what was it? Glenfiddich. And we had like Oban at all times, Oban 18 at all times. Like, we were moving Oban, like,
But
if it was
this is the
tequila.
The members only club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the Rare Eagle, like, I picked up that bottle so much. Crazy amount. I've never sold cases of
Rare Eagle?
Rare Eagle.
And now it's allocated. Like, there's really no access to it. Like, we can even get it because it's either out of stock or you can only get like 2-3 bottles a year or per month. I don't know. Unless you have a big plug. I don't know.
Like our Oban, we blew through it on our first month and we couldn't actually get it.
And during that time, did you feel like you already knew the concept of hospitality, or you were like just because you have it on you?
So when I went to Soho House, I met this guy. His name is Julio, and he was my bar captain. And Julio, the first time he told me to go with him to an industry event, it was at Double Chicken. Okay. And that's where I had met my friend Gio, who till this day, like, that's one a really close friend of mine. And
Jordana.
Yeah. And from that experience, I got really involved with it, and I started seeing like the different side of like the hospitality industry and how like the community of it, and I got super curious about it. So when I applied to Core Club, I saw that Bar Lab and Christine Wiseman was involved and all of that. I was like, okay, cool. Like, not only am I gonna make money at this spot, it's sort of where I want to go. And once I started with them, that's where I fell in love with it. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is definitely what I want to do. Like, not only if you do this right, you can make a lot of money, but it's fun. It's so much fun.
I also want to point out something, because when you mentioned mezcals earlier, you also know all this about mezcals because your family owns a mezcal.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean like...
Yeah, we make mezcal in Miahuatlán, the Porfirio Diaz. And we've been working on the brand for a few years now. It kind of came to us accidentally.
Oh, who makes the mezcal though?
So one of our cousins is the one that started making, like, took on the operation. We started with the Espadín, eventually moved to the Madre Cuche, and then the Tobala. At the moment, we haven't bottled the Tepestate just because Tepestate takes a very long time to grow. So if we start tapping into all of those plants, eventually the demand will be too high for us to keep up. And that's kind of what happens to a lot of brands, that they end up
adding stuff.
Not adding, but then they'll start buying
From
Bencas from other places.
Yeah.
My cousin knows how to cultivate it, and this guy knows how to cultivate it, and everybody else knows the ins and outs of it. And my uncle was the guy that like kind of got our Dom sticker for us because he knows how to deal with the government because of all his businesses. But I was like, all right, then now let me speak. You guys don't understand what this is. Like, because when they came out to me, it was like, yo, you're in the U.S., can you sell it? And I was like, yes, but how much do we have? And I broke it down to them. I was like, listen, if I bring it in right now, the demand might grow. Because they wanted to flood the Espadín and be like, yeah, you just sell it for the cheapest price. You don't really know what cheapest is. Like, you understand, like, some of these mezcals that they have, they're like price point to a point where we probably won't be making much money because of the way we cultivate. We still use Tojana. We use like very, very traditional. Like one thing I always stress about like the mezcal is what kind of water you're using.
Exactly.
We use natural rainwater, agua de pozo,
Okay.
which we collect. It's like a big mineral thing down underneath. You excavate it and there's like pots of water in there that people take, and then it also collects from the rainfall. So it runs down into the ground, and then it like filters
cycle.
out. Yeah. So you can taste that if you know how to taste for it. Like, there's mezcales I've tried, and I'm like, oh, you're using spring water, and I was like, how the fuck do you know that? It's like because I can taste it. Like you can definitely taste the minerality that comes from some of these agaves is because of the type of water they're using.
Yeah, it is. It's very different to like absorb and interact with the flavors of water. Honestly, now we mentioned this at the very beginning, with the clay pot that we
exactly
grandpas had. It's like you have that similarity per se. And then when you went to Soho House and you moved to this other place 3 years ago, well, where are we here? So you started working with Christy Wiseman, or the program she created. Where was this again?
It was in right on top of the Polo Bar on Fifth Avenue. The next thing I did was I went to Mexico, and I was in Mexico because of my father passing away, and I kind of stepped away from the industry again, and I spent some time over there. But while I was there, I kept on wanting to still be back in it. So PR Cocktail Week happened.
I think that's when we met. When we saw each other back in Puerto Rico.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we met at Tels.
No, we met at Tels.
We met at Tels.
Yeah, we were flying back from Tels, but we met at Puerto Rico when he was coming from Mexico. He brought some bottles of mezcal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have bottles of mezcal.
Very happy.
Yeah, I had bottles of mezcal with me.
Wait for me.
Yeah, because I was already in Mexico, so I went to go pick up some bottles, and the goal was like...
Yeah, you came in with like the big bag.
Big bag.
The goal was like to go and be like, you know what? Like, if I went back to Mexico, I'm going to get something out of this. So I went to my cousin. I was like, yo, let me get a couple bottles. Like, I bought like 2-3 cases off of them. Because there's like, we're not just going to give it to you. You understand that? Like, we need to preserve the brand. I was like, listen, I don't care. I'll pay for it. Like, I understand that handing over the operation with me would be like a risk. So let me show you what it is. And that's when I went to Puerto Rico with them. And like, I mean, you could go to Jungle Bird and there's a bottle behind the bar there. You go to Machete. I don't know. Maybe Machete already drank it. I know 173 already poured the last one because I was the person that finished that last bottle. But like when I went to PR Cocktail Week, I connected with so many people over there that the second time I came back was over the summer, and it was because I had seen that Speed Rack was going on, and my father passed away from cancer. So
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
But Speed Rack really resonated with me because of their cause. And I was like, you know, like, it just makes sense for me to be a part of this. So I went to go be a part of Speed Rack over there, and I worked it. I was working with Jenny from Jungle Bird and Danny.
Okay.
They're both from Jungle Bird. And it was just me and Danny as the bar back, and Jenny was like our captain. Like, she was like running the back end of it. And then Lynette was there. And the work we did, like, basically, what Lynette told us is, like, for the last few years, we've been behind schedule, and we usually end, like, after the time we're supposed to. And this is the first year we ever ended on time. Mind you, we started an hour late. We were already late, and we caught up and ended at the time we needed to end. And it was because, like, in parts, Jenny and Danny are great friends of mine. And me and Danny just are fucking, like, we just clicked. Like, our chemistry was so well. Like, bro, like, if you're doing this, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. Boom, boom, boom. And we just moved, and we moved. And,
How do you meet all these Puerto Ricans? Like, everyone?
going out there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just going out there, talking to people. And Lynette, at the end of the night, she was like, hey, you're from New York, right? I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm helping this bar open. It's called Millie's. And if you're interested, we would love to, like, offer you a job there. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'll do it. Fuck it. Yeah, I need a job.
And also under who? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'll take the job. She was like, yeah, when you get back to New York, call me, and we'll set up a meeting, and we'll do the onboarding. That was about a month into Millie's opening. And they had already opened when I joined. And I still thought I was having an interview. Like, I came through as, like, having an interview. And Don, who was the GM at that moment, he was like, all right, so what's your availability? I was like, huh? He's like, yeah. He's like,
You're already hired.
Lynette said that you're good. That's all I need. Like, that's really all I need. I'm pretty sure she knows what capable bartenders look like because she's a capable bartender. So what's your availability? And I just told him, I was like, well, I'm down to join for like Sundays and Mondays because I was working for this event company called Happier at the moment that was taking over my weekends. And I was like, I'll do that. And I'll come here Sundays and Mondays. And I've been there for, last 10 months, 11 months? We're about to do a year.
You have that experience of like high volume on restaurants and now high volume on clubs, but also like this the small restaurant like Lily's is small. But so how does
But
it work
there's
for
some
you?
music involved in there, right? There's some music there too, like DJ.
Yeah.
Nights.
So, at the end of the day, I chase the bag. I like money. These small concepts, these small programs, they're really cool, but sometimes they're not really paying the bills. So I got brought in at Happier through one of my friends, and it was because I really needed work after being with Core Club and being let go. And this company was like such a weird company. It's around events, like you say, but in so many different aspects. And it gave me, maybe I didn't learn too much from them, but it gave me this edge where it's like, because the way the schedule works there is like one day you're doing like a banquet dinner in like a full like suit, and then the next day you're doing like an art installation and all you're doing is wearing black, and then come Saturday and you're doing like a rave. And it's like, and now it's like 2,000 people in here and I'm wearing a fucking tank top. It's hot as hell. Yeah, so it's like, it made me very versatile. So like, sometimes I would serve, sometimes I'll be concierge, sometimes all I'm doing is being in an elevator. But it gave me so many cool like experiences because I would do like brand activations, very like intimate, like literally just for Eid that just passed by. It's like one of our larger accounts that we do every year. It's like a very large Eid dinner with a lot of like powerful people in that room.
Eid is like the Muslim
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah. Basically, they don't eat or drink. They fast for like
A month.
For a month or so. So I mean, they eat, but there's times for when you eat.
And
Like,
obviously they don't
breakfast.
drink
They fast from sundown. No,
Sunrise
sunrise to sundown.
Yeah, because they have food like at night.
Yeah.
But like Mandani was there, the mayor, and like it was like a really cool experience because like we do it every year, but obviously we might have just not known who Mandani was prior, but this year it wasn't the first year he came. We have seen him before there, and by this year we was like, oh my god, like the mayor's here, and it's
all
like
the security.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Funny, I'm just gonna do like last week I went to the hospital and he was announcing the closing of Rikers at Bellevue Hospital. So the entrance was like closed and everybody was like, sending you to another door. And then there's a lot of people with cameras and I was like, what's going on?
Like us?
Yeah. So I thought maybe it was the president or something because there was a lot of like people, but then they said it's the Major Mandani here. So I was like, okay. So I ran and I saw the whole speech that he was doing. But it was very cool because then you see like that kind of like sensation of like New York feeling and looking at this guy that is like young and bringing this like kind of mentality of like we're gonna work together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like now like you had that experience, like it feels a little different.
Yeah, I mean, it gave me such a crazy edge. I mean, like, if you follow me on social media, you'll see, like, I'm at Millie's. I got a calm Sunday, Monday, and then, like, But like the night before, I was at a rave that ended like at 5 a.m. in the morning with like 2,000 people there, and then it's another Thursday, and now I'm like in a full suit, and like I'm at the member only lounge that they have, and like I'm just doing like craft cocktails and stuff like that. So it was like, yeah, it's super cool. It was like a super cool experience. I actually, my last week was just this past week.
Yeah.
And are you doing something else besides Millie's? And
Well, I got picked up. Alec, if you met Alec before, he's part of Monkey Thief, and he's the operations director for Monkey Thief, and he had posted they were looking for prep for a prep team. And I was like, yeah, I could prep drinks. Like, I applied, and he was like, yeah, we'll bring you in, blah, blah, blah. And when I met with the owners, Avi and David, they were like, oh, would you be interested in being cross-trained just in case we need to, like, cover some shifts every now and then? Like, we'll be happy to, like, cross-train you just because of your experience. And I was like, yeah, sure, fuck yeah. Like, the event company has been going through stuff, so like there hasn't been a lot of work there. So I was like, yeah, I'll pick up the extra work. And then about 2 weeks ago, no, not even last week. About last week, they came up to me and was like, hey, we want to talk to you because we want to promote you and like make you a full-time bartender instead.
Oh, cool.
Our residency is opening up this coming week on Wednesday, and they were like, we're hiring new bartenders, and it doesn't make sense to bring in new people when we have capable people here
that is already trained.
Mm-hmm. So they're like, listen, like the way you came in, like we like your attitude, because basically when I applied to them, I told them, I'm like, the reason I'm applying here as a prep is because I want to learn more, and you guys know more than I do, and that's what I'm looking for. I've been at places where, like, majority of the time, I'm either the only person that cares or just the person that has the most knowledge. And I always felt weird about it because it's like, I don't feel like I know everything, and I don't know everything. So, like, the fact that there's nothing or nobody that can challenge me and teach me something new, it kind of would frustrate me a little bit.
Because you feel stuck.
Yeah, so when I applied to them, I was like, I want to be your weakest link. Like, I want to be the worst bartender here. Like, if I have a crap ton to learn from you guys, I'm super happy because that's exactly what I want. I want people to, like give me new skills and teach me new skills. And they do. I mean, Tyler's our head bartender, and he worked at Manhattan, and he's like a super nerd. Like this week, we've been doing training, and he took like 5 seconds to like see everybody shake, and be like, "Listen, the way you shake, this is how much dilution you're putting into it, or like you're breaking up ice like this." I'm like, nobody ever in my time of working has ever made me shake water. Like that's what he was doing. He was just putting foamer and water in there to see like more or less what's your wash line and like how you're breaking up cubes. And I'm like, yo, these dudes are nerds. Like they're super nerds, but they're like passionate about it.
Which is good now in the times that we live in terms of cocktails and bars, because I feel like now people who are nerds are really like taking the time to teach other people and investing in you as a new, as a new team.
And if you learn in all of this because you have invested in yourself. Because it's not like something you learn and, it's something that you have put time into it. Like you say, people care. Like if you care about somebody having a great drink, a great experience, and also quality cocktails, like you have to take time and learn the shaking part, because that's important. If you don't know how to shake and you overshake or over dilute a cocktail, you add more water than is supposed to go there, like, so basically the balance of a cocktail is layers of salty, sour, umami, spicy, or whatever you are trying to acquire, but it has to be a complexity around the flavors in that one cocktail, and I think this comes with a lot of knowledge and working behind the bars, and also kind of learning your team is very important. That's why education with the team is crucial when you are about to open something new. Because if you train you people, and this is what you want, this is the steps of service, this is what we want to know, like in terms of the shaking part. Like for that one cocktail, if you, let's say, if you add something like a tiki cocktail with extra ice, you shake it, then you pour on more ice, you over diluting it, because the time that it's gonna spend on the glass is just gonna add, the cocktail itself is gonna evolve too. So you're basically stretching that cocktail a lot. And you don't want that. You want something that is rich and is gonna stay there. And the ice for that cocktail is there for a purpose too. Like purpose on ice. Like big rocks. Why to use big rocks? Why to use cold wrap? Why to use crushed ice? Why when you stir you pull it on a martini glass up, and then why is it extra cold? Like all these little steps and processes that we learn. When we are trained, it's always good to like relearn sometimes. Because as a seasoned bartender, sometimes you like forget about these things, like I've been doing this for so long, well, whatever. But if you go to a new place and they like ignite this fire, you go like, okay, this is what I've been like, I can perfect, I can, do better and be a good part of the team. Like you say, I want to be the weak link, but you might not be the weak link, you might be the, the person who's like, okay, what can we learn from you too, because sometimes that happens. Like a bartender who has been doing this for so long, he might not know it all. But if you bring like some sort of experience, or even if you say something about fire washing, like, oh, I've been fire washing for years, but this is the fastest way. I've been doing this it takes less than 12 hours, 3 hours. Like normally if any fire wash is 24 hours. So if you fire wash it for a freezer, I don't know, like like if you have an idea. Because that's what we heard, in Japan, they're like clarifying things in the freezer. And it was like, what? I've been clarifying things for hours. And they just put it in the freezer and they clarify it immediately. So, like this process that you learn, you cross-train. And if you go to different places, you learn different stuff from people.
No, and that was my question of like hospitality, because, you mentioned that you went to college for business and accounting. And then the day that you fall in love with the hospitality industry, and then now you have this experience of like, trying to becoming like, not just a bartender in one place, but you are like having different places and different backgrounds. And, probably like we always says now, bartenders, they know that this is a profession. It's not just like your side work. And I believe that you, when I convince your mom of like, this is a profession to mom.
I mean, like even because of, like being at Core Club was probably the most nerdiest program I had been in until now. Joining Monkey Thief, and now it's like they put a spin saw in front of me, and I was like, I've never seen this before, and like it's so much fun to work with some of these stuff.
Yeah.
And like I'm super excited about that program because like all the nerdy shit they're doing is what I've been dying to learn. Like there's things that I've learned in the last month from them that I've already started applying into my craft. Like their approach in using like acids and stuff like that, or like the way they clarify in different ways. Even the carbonation part, like I've been at a lot of bars where like they have rigs behind the bar, and they're carbonating the cocktail on the spot sometimes, or like they cap it. And Alec was like, he even said it right now this week. He was like, don't quote me, this is just our belief. But our belief is the more you move the bottle and the more you're touching the bottle,
It's gonna lose.
the more it loses carbonation. So we have an ice bath where we keep these open bottles. We don't cap them back up. Why? Because every time you cap them back up and you shake it, the pressure rises and the air wants to leave the bottle. So
Yeah, it's like you open a bottle of like plastic soda. You open it the first time and it's a lot of like CO2. But then, during the time that you're drinking, at the end it's like super flat because it's like losing it the whole.
The first one is gonna be perfect. The fifth pour is gonna be like it's losing the carbonation, right? Yeah.
And then some people's like solution to that was like, oh, just hit it back and carbonate it again, which is okay. But when you're working at such a costly operation, every single dollar and penny matters.
Yeah.
Because it's just that's how budgeting works. So it's like if we actually carbonate them every single time, we're using so much CO2. In that space, we're having 3 different like venues operating off of the same prep room. So it's like we're using carbonation through all 3 spaces. So if we carbonate every single bottle at a time, we either buy 10 or 15 of these tanks at a time,
Thanks, yeah.
or we're just smart about how we use them. Like,
Also, it takes some. Yeah.
like what we do is we don't pour that last drink majority of the time. You can taste it, and if it's still good and you feel comfortable serving it, by all means. But if you don't feel comfortable with the way it's carbonated, seal that bottle back up, send it downstairs. We're gonna recarbonate it with the master batch and like act like it's a brand new cocktail again. We don't need to try to stretch that one because now we're sacrificing quality over like
Cost as well.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like the way they create these cocktails isn't a matter for us to be able to have a good shelf life on them. So we can just take it back downstairs. And plus, tomorrow is going to be served anyways. But it's just like a lot of the ways that they think, like, it makes so much sense. And it's like super interesting. And like, I mean, this last week, that training has been amazing. Like, I gained so much off of it. The way that they approach everything is amazing. Since Tao Group had been like my first experience with like intense training, but it was like in a longer, like a month and a half that we did that training, right? These guys was like, listen, we got a week and a half, and we're just gonna throw everything at you, but like, ask all the questions you have, all the uncertainties you have. This is the moment to do it, and blah blah blah. And like, it's fast, but the team in general, we have so much curiosity, and we're all super eager to do this with them. That it's works so organically, and it's really cool, honestly. And we're super excited to open this space.
No, and also the difference is like, coming from Tao, that is a corporate, so that they have these like big books on like HR and like the things that you have to learn from the company. So it takes time that this Monkey Thief is not like a small company compared to Tao.
Yeah.
So the training is also more like focused on a bar than rather like a hotel and restaurant and bar and ambition. But yeah, but we're very very excited to see you there.
Yeah.
And hearing your journey is very very important because like us, we met you through like pop-ups and everything, but like myself, I didn't know like exactly where you're coming from. I was like also kind of like, why this guy is like so bubbly and knows all these people, but I don't know where he works. It was kind of like a question, but also I learned from you that you were like going back and forth to Mexico and dealing with your dad's sickness and everything. Like you were like super like supported with your dad at this period of time, and I'm glad that you're like now on this side, like working on your dreams and your goals, and I believe that you're gonna go further.
They're gonna succeed, and like honestly, like since you mentioned, starting from dishwashing and moving your way up, so many people in our audience can relate to that because a lot of us who have been working in the industry, and this is what we do, this is what we've gone through. Even if you go to college or school, whatever your side jobs are, or if you have 2 jobs, because sometimes, like, even if you work during the day as a teacher or as a, accountant, you are a busboy, a bartender, a server during the evening or weekends, So a lot of people relate with what we just heard from you. And then seeing what you're doing, I think this is also really uplifting for the community, in general, like not only the Mexican community, but the Latino community, because being in New York, it's so big, but it's so small at the same time, because growing up in Jackson Heights, I'm talking about myself, I grew up in Jackson Heights, and the community there was Dominicans, Colombians, a lot of Ecuadorians, Peruvians, which I made like most of my friendships. And like you mentioned, you're going to Puerto Rico, going to these places, having friends from Puerto Rico, like, this country or this state perhaps, it's so beautiful in that sense because it helps you connect with other people, other food, other drinks, and then you learn from everybody, right? Like we're still learning from everybody. Like,
Yeah.
I love that about this, and thank you for sharing your story.
Before you leave, obviously, we know that you're like, also working in a nonprofit and doing pop-ups. So we have the conversation about you, but like now, what is the project that you're working on your side as a personal?
So about 3 years ago, I started this. It was sort of like a way to like. I was just getting upset with like all the stereotypes. Like it was mostly about my own culture, and it was just like I was tired of like the concept of how people have between cultures. Like Mexican food is always spicy, and it's always guacamoles and tacos and stuff like that. So I started this event where we are stepping away from stereotypes and giving you an opportunity to learn cultures in a new light. So we're trying to put in new flavors, different types of cuisine that you can see or anything like that. The first one was about 3 years ago. I did it in Harlem in my own neighborhood at a new bar that had just opened there. The last year was at Frijoleros, and we did an amazing event up there with Fabiola and like all her team. And you guys, actually, you guys,
And I won my
you
my
guys
banana.
won that award, yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, this is a banana hour.
Yeah.
But I will represent.
So the first year, it was sort of just one-sided, where it was just like, all I wanted to do is offer people a new way on how to look at our culture, which is why we don't work with agave spirits. We only do Mexican non-agave spirits. So that year we did Casalumbre. Last year we did Primo and Condesa and Palante. But last year I was like, you know what? It's really fun to throw a party and everything like that. But for what? Like, so I kind of put a second layer towards it and decided that if this is really about community, it's about also giving back to the community. So I started thinking that we should use the funds of whatever we make to kind of give back to the community, especially with like the whole political era that things are. Last year, Trump came into office and was kind of persecuting the Latino community. So we partnered up with the Street Vendor Project, and that's who we donated our money to from that event. And it was really cool because, last month, the Street Vendor Project had an amazing win by winning this new law where they're actually going to start printing new permits for street vendors. That hasn't happened for over 10 years,
Finally.
And in a way, I might not be extremely the reason why it happened, because that legal battle was way more expensive than what we contributed. But it was nice to know that in one way or another we were able to contribute to it. So this year we're doing it at Monkey Thief, for our second week opened. We're opening up this week. It'll be on our third. It'll be for Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
The first 2 years was for Mexican Independence Day. This year is for Cinco de Mayo. We're probably still gonna do something for September, but the one for Cinco de Mayo, it's like I kind of wanted to make a little bit fun of it. Cinco de Mayo is not celebrated in Mexico. No. It's an American holiday. It was made by tequila brands to sell more tequila,
And beer.
And beer, yeah. So I decided, you know what, we are going to do agave spirits, and we're gonna do tequila, and we're gonna do margaritas and all the stereotypes, but I'm gonna show you exactly how to do these right. Like, we're not gonna put mango on guacamole. We're gonna make a real good guacamole. Or we're not just making acidic fucking margaritas that cost $2. It's still gonna be a pretty cheap margarita, but it's gonna be a good one. It's not gonna be but we're donating our proceeds this year to Little Sisters Association, which is actually in my own neighborhood. It's a program that started a couple years ago, that it was just a group of nurses that came through from Europe, and they were giving aid to the people in the community, and they chose East Harlem because they believed one of America's biggest enemies was obesity. Yeah. And Harlem just happened to be one of the largest communities that has a lot of child obesity. Mm-hmm. So they set up shop there, and they started with children, but at this moment it's been quite some time, and over the years they've branched out to other things, and one of those things include legal processing for people looking for documentation. Mm-hmm. And they actually helped me directly. They are the people who gave me the documentation of how I'm able to work and like and have the residency that I have, and they're helping me with the process of getting the citizenship. So I just felt like if I have this platform now and I can give back, I can definitely give back to the people who directly help me out, and they can help the community that I'm in, which is going to be super fun to like be able to give back to the people that gave me the opportunity to even be doing this.
That's amazing.
That's
and
amazing.
You guys listening and watching, make sure you follow G, his Instagram socials, because once he posts this information, I think it's good for us to know. And if you have the time, go support.
Yeah, it's gonna be on a Monday, so hopefully everybody's off.
May 5th on Monkey Thief, and it's gonna be for
May 4th.
May 4th, sorry.
May the poor be with you.
But it's gonna be directed to helping the community, and I guess immigrants in general. We're building also this country. We have been building this country, and we're still gonna be building this country.
Yeah.
We're here. Fuck it.
We're trying to do our life in a way that not just contribute to society, but also to ourselves. So we're doing something that we're passionate about it, and hopefully everybody gets to have that type of opportunity. But now we learn from you, and we're very happy to have you here again. And we'll wish you the best.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
We'll come see you.
Definitely.
For sure.
I want to try also the pizza there. And,
Oh yeah, I'm there on Wednesday, but on Saturday will be my first day at the residency.
cool.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm at the pizza shop.
Perfect. So thank you again, Edgar, for another episode.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank you,
guys,
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Senor. Well, thank you, Edgar. Thank you so much for watching this episode. We also have the whole episodes from day one. You can watch them on www.bartalkingbar.nyc.com. And, we have our YouTube channel. You can also watch some shorts on Instagram. You can follow us. And then, don't forget to tip your bartender. Don't forget to tip at all.
Bar Talking, Talking Bar.
Bye.
Favorite podcast.